This episode of The Give and Go is brought to you by Verizon. We are so excited to be teaming up with Verizon, an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. If you're with Verizon, you have the opportunity to score golden tickets to watch a portion of the FIFA World Cup from the field for the first time ever and closer than ever before.
Enter now for a once-in-a-lifetime chance to win this exclusive pitch-side access in the My Verizon app. And if you're not a Verizon customer, make the switch today. Don't miss out. The Golden Ticket Sweepstakes ends on November 20th. This FIFA World Cup, no one gets you closer than Verizon. No purchase necessary. For terms and conditions, check out My Access within the My Verizon app.
Hello and welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
It's the weekend recap. Subscribe to the show for the best recap show when it comes to covering club football. We're going to touch on all the big leagues and all of the biggest results, including our predictions and whether we were right or wrong, as you saw in the weekend preview. When it comes to selecting where I want to start first, I got options, bro. I can go to the Prem.
Yeah.
I can go to MLS for some crazy MLS drama. I can go to Mexico for some Liga MX drama. But I actually want to start in La Liga. I want to start in La Liga, where we had another ding, ding, ding Soltero prophecy. As you correctly predicted, Real Madrid would defeat Valencia 4-0. I predicted 3-0.
Yeah.
But they delivered, giving you that fourth goal. Real Madrid doing exactly what we asked out of them.
Exactly. And I want to say thank you to Vinny Jr. for missing that penalty. Fine margins when you're trying to predict a scoreline. But yeah, this was complete domination by Madrid, bro. Like, this wasn't a contest. Truthfully speaking, I don't think I'm actually doing Valencia any disrespect here. They look like a youth team. It was bad, bro. It looked like a scrimmage out there in front of 80,000 people. That was the only difference. Yeah. This was utter domination. This was barely a match in my complete humble opinion, but this is exactly what we wanted to see when we mentioned Madrid in the preview. We wanted to see Xabi Alonso kind of shush the media, start Vinicius, and we want to see Vinicius just go at Valencia's defense. That exactly happened in this match. He actually drew the penalty that he would end up missing when Correa just came in crashing against him. That quick feet from Vinicius was definitely on display in this match. But then we saw performances from guys like Jude Bellingham, bro, where I would say not just in this match, but maybe the last two matches, and especially in that Clásico, we're starting to see the Bellingham that showed up in his first season with Madrid. Yeah. Because when he's going, he's elusive. You can't touch Bellingham when he's in his prime. He can get past two players, then provide a really good through ball. He can get past three players in tight situations in the box and then score goals on his own. We're starting to see Bellingham return to form, and it's amazing to see. It's going to make Madrid's offense just that much better, not only in La Liga but also in the Champions League. And then defensively, they didn't allow Valencia to do absolutely anything. For me, 10 out of 10 performance from the entire squad of Madrid, including Alonso.
Yeah, and you're starting to see an established duo with Goulet and Mbappe really forming some good chemistry. That was something that stood out to me as Goulet assisted Mbappe in that second goal. They're starting to link up very, very well. And you make a good point with Bellingham starting to rise to the occasion as a midfielder. I was thinking about it watching this game. The last time Madrid won the UCL, the last time they won La Liga, was still with two of their big three midfielders playing for them in Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. Add in Casemiro, and now all three are officially gone for this team. And we haven't seen this team win a trophy, truly a big one, without those guys involved, bro.
Dude, good point.
And so I realized going into this season, going into this game and going into the aspirations that Real Madrid has for this season in both La Liga and the UCL, we're trying to see Madrid prove that they can win trophies without these Hall of Fame players, bro.
Yeah.
And you're going to need Bellingham to play like this to be able to do that. It's a good sign that he's starting to do that. Obviously, it's going to matter more in the big, important matches. But as we saw from Tchouaméni, man, in that El Clásico match, they've really stepped up to the occasion so far. I just think it's a really good narrative to focus on from Madrid, especially going deeper into La Liga and UCL, is can they show out? Can they win these big games without having Toni Kroos in the midfield, Luka Modric or Casemiro, guys that guided them in these big matches? Xabi Alonso's trying to figure that out. So far, so good, but that's the biggest challenge for them. And in the back line, I just want to highlight the consistent play of Carreras. I think Carreras followed up a really good performance in El Clásico, essentially shutting down Lamine Yamal with a potential goal of the weekend nominee here, bro. Because that goal that he scored today was ridiculous. To have your fullback score a goal like that, bro, top bins from, I think it was technically outside of the box, maybe it was a little bit inside, is ridiculous, bro. Yeah. He is really stepping up to that transfer value for what they bought him for. And if he continues playing like this, I think Real Madrid has found a good go-to fullback in that position that can both defend, but then provide good offensive moments. Great all-around performance for Real Madrid. Terrible from Valencia.
Terrible. But for Madrid, now we look to Anfield, right? We have a huge match for them when it comes to this midweek fixture. Against Barcelona, near perfect. Against Valencia, literal perfection. Now, I need to see this Madrid take this momentum that they've brewed over the last 10 days and take it to an interesting Liverpool side that's trying to refine their form. I think Madrid have what it takes to give Liverpool as much trouble as possible, but I need to see it happen, bro. I need to see it. Against these weaker teams, Madrid have done well. Against Barcelona, I was so impressed. Let's do it again. Do it again against Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, they matched up around this time last year at Anfield in a meeting that was much different going into that with the questionable Real Madrid versus an on-fire Liverpool back then. Now it almost feels like the roles have reversed, bro, with Liverpool, yes, defeating Aston Villa at the weekend, but still not having that consistency of beating top teams. And Real Madrid, I think, coming into that game, as I would argue, the favorites. I think they're the slight favorites going into that match, even though it is away from home. They're doing better right now as a team. They seem more cohesive. I would not be surprised if Real Madrid gets a victory at Anfield, man.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see how Tchouaméni and Bellingham play against Liverpool's midfield. Is it going to be as dominant against La Liga opposition? I'm so curious. And then, of course, Mbappe, I don't think he's going to have any problem, to be honest. And I mean, truthfully, looking at the center back pairing of Liverpool right now, I think Mbappe is going to be a handful, bro. Yeah, an absolute handful. And if the fullbacks like Carreras get involved, I think Liverpool are going to struggle. I agree. I think Madrid are the slight favorites, but anything can happen in Anfield. Anything can happen.
And if there's a time to make a statement for Liverpool, it is now against Real Madrid to win your second game in a row in all competitions. Defeat Madrid, I think that would do wonders for their confidence. Big game. Big game awaits us midweek between both those squads. Elsewhere in La Liga, Atletico Madrid defeated Matias Almeida's Sevilla side 3-0, man, in a thrashing at the Metropolitana. And Barca defeats Elche 3-1 with Lamine scoring and Marcus Rashford being the man of the match. The big clubs winning, including Villarreal.
Griezmann getting his 200th goal for Atletico, putting him in very rare air.
He's at 2 now.
200, bro.
Wow.
Club legend, bro. Club legend. We'll have a game against Saint-Gilloise at home. I think we'll be okay. We've been actually in great form as of late.
Villarreal still in the top 3, man. Still in the top 3. 1 point above Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
What if they finish above Atletico, man?
What if, you know?
It'd be insulting.
What if? It's all what ifs for Villarreal, bro. We'll see.
We'll see. Let's move on over to the Prem, where we had highlighted 2 matches. The Tottenham versus Chelsea match, as well as the Manchester City versus Bournemouth game. But we had notable results elsewhere, too. Let's go with the weekend preview games. Let's start with Tottenham versus Chelsea, man. At Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we saw an incredible atmosphere, but ultimately a game that I think didn't deliver in terms of entertainment, but came down to moments. A moment dictated by Moises Caicedo, man, whose relentlessness literally generated a goal. João Pedro getting at the end of it. Chelsea win 1-0 away from home. Massive result to now move into the top 5. Tottenham losing a big one here.
Masterclass from Moises Caicedo. You rewatch that whole play in which the goal occurs, and you understand why Moises Caicedo is one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. He wins the ball back on his own, by the way. He decides he's going to do a one-man press against the entire backline of Tottenham. He goes up, he wins the ball, tries to combine with Neto. Neto actually loses it. Play dead for Chelsea. Caicedo says, I'm up here. I might as well keep pressing. So he presses again. He wins the ball back again. Sloppy from Tottenham. Caicedo then says, all right, I'm going to take it in the box. He dribble penetrates. He still has the footwork to make that extra pass. Gets the ball to João Pedro, and he takes it from there to give Chelsea the only goal in this match. But it was all Moises Caicedo as to why Chelsea gets that first goal.
Yeah, and it decided the game, bro. I mean, that is a coach's dream, that type of goal right there. Seeing your midfielder dive for the ball like that and steal it from Tottenham's lackluster defenders, bro. You cannot accept that. And you could tell from Thomas Frank's reaction, he kicked a water ball the moment that ball went in. Such a frustrating goal to concede in a moment like that for Tottenham. But it's what decides the game, bro. Chelsea just wanted it more. I think they just had players that wanted it more. João Pedro had a really nice tucked in finish. They deserved it, bro. 3 huge points for Chelsea at the hands of a great play from Caicedo.
Yeah, and you look at the rest of this match, the second half devolved into just a really chippy affair. A very physical match that Chelsea easily won. Pedro should have had another goal, to be completely honest.
2 or 3, man.
2 or 3. Bino Gittins should have had one when he came on. Really poor finishing from Chelsea. And frustrating because you got to put this one to bed, bro. Yeah, 1-goal margin on the road is never safe. Put it to bed. It ends up not mattering. And that's because Tottenham's offense just ain't it, bro. It's just not it. And I'm going to throw some stats at you right now. Based off of the chances created, Chelsea's expected goal number was 3.7. 3.7. So honestly, poor finishing from Chelsea because they only got 1 goal, right? Tottenham's
above 1, please. Please, man.
0.1.
Oh!
Yeah, bro.
Oh!
0.1.
It makes sense. I mean, in this game, there was nothing there.
There was nothing. And that's why I get frustrated with Tottenham because I, on a weekly basis, forget that Kolo Muani is a Tottenham player. I forget because I just don't see him. I don't see his style of play get used right now in Frank's system with Tottenham. I really don't. I think the midfielders get a lot of action. Bergvall, who unfortunately got a concussion in this game. Betancourt sees a lot of the ball. Problem is, you need your offensive players to get those moments. But for me right now, the offensive line of Tottenham, they're just not linked together. It's very isolated. It's not working. I even look at a guy like Kudus, for example. I'd say he's the most active offensive player for Tottenham, but I just don't think he's being utilized correctly. I think he needs to be out wider. I think he needs to receive the ball when he's basically on the touchline and then penetrate from there. But a lot of the times I see Kudus retrieve the ball in the center of the pitch. And for me, it just doesn't utilize his traits to the best of his own ability. So for me, Tottenham's offense just needs to be a lot more involved, a lot more connected. Even Xavi Simons, man. I don't see the same creative play that I see at the international level with the Netherlands or that we saw in Germany back at Leipzig. Right now, a lot of Tottenham's offensive players just aren't working with one another.
No, they don't complement each other stylistically right now. I think it's because of injuries and the players that would fit into the system just aren't able to play right now. Solanke, Richarlison, I think give you a more direct option up top. James Maddison is a much better facilitator than I would say Simons or Bergvall or Kolo Muani are, at least when it comes to being proven in the Prem.
True.
Maybe Xavi Simons has more to say for that, but as of now, he has been able to do that. So I think injuries have hurt this team, but regardless, it is great individual talent that should be doing more, especially when you see what Kudus was doing at West Ham with the lesser squad, and that is disappointing. It is disappointing that in a game of this magnitude, they weren't able to show anything for it. But once again, I just got to reiterate, it is Caicedo, bro. Caicedo who decided to dictate the result of this game. And it actually brings me to the linked up segment of the show presented by Verizon, where we take your questions, folks, your questions that you submitted through Instagram regarding results this weekend. And the question that I want to ask you is Caicedo better than Declan Rice? Ask Zenga411.
Zenga, great question. Great question, because this is tough. I almost want to put them in different positions. And I know that seems like I'm copping out, but the way that they've blossomed at their new respective clubs, Rice at Arsenal and Caicedo at Chelsea, they've almost just completely different. I see Caicedo as a box-to-box sole defensive midfielder, whereas I used to thought Declan Rice was that, but now I see him at Arsenal. I actually see him as more of a deep-lying playmaker. I think Rice is also very deadly on set pieces too. Caicedo's not really that, but Caicedo generates offense by winning the ball high up the pitch. I don't really see Declan Rice doing that a lot either, although Rice is very good positionally. There's so many pros and cons. You can go with either player. If I'm a coach and I just had to pick one, I'm going to go Declan Rice purely because of his ball facilitation.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, what I love about both these options is that they've proven their price tag. I don't think anyone has left feeling that they weren't worth what they were paid for when they came to getting them acquired by their teams. because they were. I think they both went for over 100 mil. I think. I'm not sure. I need to check. I know Caicedo for sure, but Rice was very close. I got to ask myself the question, who would I rather have on my team? Because I do see them as 50-50. On my team, I want the more passionate, more willing to die for the ball player. Give me that South American flair. I'm going Moises Caicedo because I just feel like he gives it everything, every single game, and he can score goals from outside the box. He's got a nice boot on him, and he showed it with Chelsea. I think I just favor Caicedo more stylistically, but Rice is equally as good of a player in the style that he plays for himself. Caicedo versus Rice. Let us know in the comments down below because I think it's a great comparison with two players that share similar narratives, making big moves to big clubs and having played really well for both teams so far. But Tottenham here losing this game to Chelsea 1-0.
Hold on. I feel like this is like the third time you've doubted Chelsea, and this is the third time that they proved you wrong, bro.
Yeah, but then they're gonna lose next week.
That's okay.
Next week.
That's okay. But when we cover Chelsea, I want to veto any anti-Chelsea propaganda that comes from you, bro.
Context matters.
I proved it 3 times now,
bro. Look, if they win again next week, I'm there.
That's
bro.
What it takes.
That's literally what it takes. That's all I'm asking.
Man.
I don't think I'm asking for much.
Let me see who they play real quick next week.
They care back in Champions League, but they play Wolves. Rivalry game against one of the worst teams in the Prem. This is the type of game Chelsea loses, man. This is the type.
All right, let them change your mind then. I'll let them speak for me.
If they win, I'll start saying nice things about Chelsea. I will, because they defeated Tottenham in a tough away fixture. They deserve their credit. Just can't do it fully yet. What I will do is be harsh on Tottenham, who I believe would have won this game and disappointed me at the end of the day. Folks, let's move on to Manchester City versus Bournemouth, where another incredible performance from Ballon d'Or candidate Erling Haaland, getting a brace in this game, being in prime. Erling Haaland positions on the break, wide open, rounding the keeper, shooting straight through him. Didn't matter, bro. Erling Haaland got his 2 goals in what was one of the best Bournemouth performances I've seen at the Etihad Stadium. Man, they had their chances. Tyler Adams tied it up at one point. That Manchester City energy and their home crowd ultimately showed out. Erling Haaland guides Manchester City past this feisty Bournemouth side.
I'm gonna give the Bournemouth perspective here because I was really going for them. I was really excited to see them play at the Etihad this weekend. I knew Bournemouth were going to be very feisty. I knew they're going to have a lot of energy. I knew they were going to press City, and I was so excited to see Andoni Iraola's tactics play out against Guardiola's Manchester City. And at the beginning, I really liked what I saw. We saw Brooks early on break through Manchester City's defense and kind of show City that, Bournemouth's here to play. And if you lose the ball, they have the weapons to hurt you. I really like that. I really like Tyler Adams' performance, not just in this game, but all season. He's been everywhere. I mean, honestly, I'd say him and Moises Caicedo are the best ball retrievers in the Premier League this season specifically. Adams constantly running, constantly closing down space. I loved that. What I didn't account for was how loose and disconnected Senesi and Diakite were, the 2 center backs for Bournemouth. You look at the 2 goals they conceded against Haaland, they're near mirrors of each other. One center back goes up to bite the ball, put pressure on the City player, but what happens is there's no coverage, and it leaves the other center back having to defend the space against oncoming City players. Now here's the problem, bro. Erling Haaland, for every step he takes, you have to take 5. He's a space eater, man. You can't defend the space against Erling Haaland. The best way to defend against him is to put a man on him, put a body on Haaland. Every game when Haaland gets canceled out is because you have a defender on him at all times, or you have 2 guys on him, and you let the other attackers of your opponent and you ask them the question, can they hurt us? But in this game, you play the space, there's only going to be one winner, and that's Erling Haaland. My God. In both chances, first off, 2 beautiful passes from Shirky, by the way. Yeah. But in both chances, Erling Haaland just had the entire pitch to run into. It's impossible to do that. So for me, Bournemouth really let themselves down with how they approached defending Erling Haaland, specifically with the center back setup. And it's just, it's frustrating because this game was so intense. And I could see that Bournemouth had the potential, but You play Erling Haaland like that, man. We're talking about one of the best strikers, the best striker in the world right now when it comes to finishing, bro. 2 insane finishes from Haaland, and it's just great striker play and really good assisting from Ryan Cherki. City played this perfectly. I think Andoni Iraola got it a bit wrong at the back.
I can see that point, and I can agree to that point. I think you give him that much space, that's what's going to happen. I question, this whole season, I've been asking the question, with seeing the numbers that Erling Haaland's been putting up, can he carry Manchester City? Mm-hmm. Can he truly do it, man? Because it's clear there isn't much offense beyond Haaland when it comes to finishing product, being on the score sheet. O'Reilly got involved today, but I think that's his first goal of the season. I think the second highest leading goal scorer for Manchester City has 2 goals this year. So it really is truly the question, can Erling Haaland carry Manchester City? If he's playing like this, I think he can.
You can?
I think I'm starting to really lean towards that side. So yes, you can put a body in Erling Haaland. You can play tight against them. I still think he bags a goal in this form. I still think he bags a goal and ultimately dictates the result of this game. And so now I'm just curious to see if he can continue doing it, man. That's the Manchester City perspective, is at this point, just feed, service Erling Haaland and see what he can do. This is an MVP type season that he's having so far in the Prem. Very similar to what Mohamed Salah did last year, just putting up ridiculous numbers time in, time out. And so far, so good. I think that's the game plan for Manchester City. I think it's going to continue working against teams of this level. I don't know if it can win you a trophy such as the Premier League, but can it get you back into the top 3, a position that you were not in last year? It might just be that, bro. And in the Champions League, I think it definitely leans into that knockout stage format. So I think just sit back and enjoy the Erling Haaland show, man, because it is cementing itself now. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be one of 2 of the best strikers in the world right now, right next to Harry Kane. And they're going to be putting up ridiculous numbers in the quest for a trophy. If he actually wins one, bro, playing like this, sign him up for the Ballon d'Or, bro. Sign him up, because a Prem like this would be crazy. A UCL like this would be crazy. And going to the World Cup with Norway as well would just be the cherry on top. It's ridiculous what he's doing so far. That to me is a Manchester City perspective. Erling Haaland, what a player. Let's go all the way.
Dude, he's on target for like 45 goals just in the Prem, bro.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's insane.
How many is it, 16?
13 goals in 10 matches. 10 matches, bro. It's ridiculous. I think he has 1 assist.
Okay.
He has 1 assist. Okay. But he's a joy to watch.
Yeah.
He is truly one of one type of player in the global scheme of football right now. I think number 9s are a bit hard to come by right now. Like true 9s that can score on a regular basis. Haaland is the definition of consistent in front of goal. And I think consistency in front of goal is just very rare nowadays. Haaland is so fun to watch.
And Turkey, man, I want to see more consistency out of him. I think obviously he was brought in to kind of emulate that Kevin De Bruyne role. I don't think he'll live up to the heights that Kevin De Bruyne reached, but he's still a very good, serviceable player that can feed Erling Haaland. He did perfectly in this game. Those passes were sheer beauties. I just need to see it more because he's been in and out of the lineup with injuries. I want to see him gain consistency because I feel like he's been searching for that ever since the Club World Cup. I need to see more from him, but I like what I saw so far in this game, servicing and feeding Erling Haaland.
What I love about Cherki, and we saw flashes of it at the Club World Cup, he's just as creative as De Bruyne. I'm claiming that right now. I see Cherki have ideas that I don't see any other attacking midfielders have in the game right now.
Kind of like a Van Gogh Picasso thing.
Yeah, he's so creative. He's an artist on the pitch, truly.
Yeah.
But he needs to back it up and achieve the same numbers as guys like De Bruyne, for example. I think he has the potential to do so. I hope this injury thing isn't a consistent thing, man, because a little concerning, I'm going to be honest. He's 22.
Yeah, man.
He's injured at the beginning of the season. Like, shit. If he can stay healthy, if he starts assisting consistently, we might have the best creative midfield in the Prem in Ryan Cherki.
Oh, yeah, he can become that.
Yeah.
He can definitely become that. I think there's still a lot that needs to be proven until he is that. Best of luck to Ryan Cherki. Tell me which is the most notable result out of these games in the Prem. 2-0 Arsenal versus Burnley. Arsenal wins once again with a clean sheet. Crystal Palace defeating Brentford 2-0. Nottingham Forest tying Manchester United.
Yeah.
And I'll throw in Liverpool defeating Aston Villa 2-0. most noteworthy result out of those?
Yeah, the United and Liverpool results really stood out to me. I'll go United as the most notable, simply because you can't draw against Nottingham in the form you're in.
Sean Dyche football has arrived, though. That's the thing.
I guess, man. But Amorim football should be better in this moment in time, but apparently it wasn't. So I would say frustrating if you're United, because you had to look at that game as a free 3 points. Yeah. You had to look at it that way. And only getting one, I think, is disappointing for United right now.
Especially the way it happened. They were up 1-0, then Nottingham completely flipped it in the span of 2 minutes to make it 2-1, and then United was chasing a point. That's tough, going from like, oh, we got 3 points in the bag, to all of a sudden, can we salvage a point here? They did, but tough because they had won 3 in a row. That dude that's trying to get that haircut was 2 wins away, and now it resets with the tie, man. Still, though, they get a point. They did not lose. I think that's ultimately good for Manchester United, given how they started off the season. For me, the most noteworthy result was that Arsenal game, 2-0 against Burnley, away from home. I thought it would be a lot closer. I thought it'd be a lot tighter, especially since I'm kind of rooting for it to get tighter up top in the title race. But Arsenal stood strong. One of the better Gyökeres performances so far in the Prem, as he scored and also was, I think, provided hockey assist, or was a big part of that second goal.
Yeah.
And Arsenal just continues looking great, getting another clean sheet, be it against a weak Burnley offense, but still, man, best defense in the Prem by far.
Yeah.
And just a convincing championship winning type of result here.
Yeah, only have conceded 3 goals in 10 matches. Ridiculous. Here's the thing, though. Sunderland drew today against Everton, right?
Okay.
Second place all the way down to 11th place, only 4 point separation.
My God.
Second to 11, 4 point separation.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous. Now we just need Arsenal to drop points, and we'll have one of the absolute craziest seasons in the Prem ever.
That's crazy. We're almost a third of the way through the season.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know if we've ever seen this.
Yeah, it's nuts.
To this level, I don't know.
I mean, to see a team like Brighton be only 4 points off of second place.
Yeah.
And Villa, considering how poor they started the season, they're only 4 points from second place.
Damn. Yeah.
It's ridiculous to say that. The Premier League is, right now, it's the best league in the world, without a doubt. I cannot take my eyes off this league. I can't.
One word for West Ham defeating Newcastle 3-1.
No, there you go. If you think Newcastle's trying to do something, West Ham get their first win of the season.
That was crazy. I think we should move on over to the Americas at this point. Let's talk MLS ball and Liga MX action. We'll go with the MLS here, as the MLS playoffs are starting to get more and more dramatic. Some very noteworthy results in the U.S., but we selected 2 games to preview for the MLS playoffs this weekend, with Portland Timbers hosting San Diego FC and Chicago Fire hosting Philadelphia Union. 2 very important results, starting off with a potential game of the weekend nominee, at least for me. Portland Timbers versus San Diego FC, tying it in the final minute of the match. Guerra ties it, 98-minute header to push it to penalties. And then some of the worst penalty shooting you've seen in a long time. San Diego, my God, disaster class. Portland takes advantage to win 3-2 on pens to push it to game 3.
Dude, this game was pure MLS chaos. This is why you watch MLS playoffs. It can get so ridiculously entertaining. That first half, absolute domination from Portland. It almost looked like San Diego was the 7th seeder in this match. It was such a stark contrast between game 1 and this match, game 2. Christopher Velde, Portland Timber Norwegian winger, had himself a game in this match. That first goal that opens it up for Portland, it's pure class, man. The way he receives it, drops his shoulder, creates separation outside of 2 defenders in front of him, and then still has the class to slot finish it. Ridiculous goal from Velde. And you could see, even outside of that, he was so fired up for this game, constantly sprinting, yelling at the ref, trying to fire up the San Diego players. He was ridiculous out there on that pitch. It's the type of guy you want on your team, bro. He was amazing. They dominated the half, And the half ended 1-1.
Yeah, man.
That's the crazy thing. San Diego did not deserve to go into the locker room tied. They really didn't. And the thing is, they almost went up leading it, but the goal ended up being counted as offside against Dreyer. It ended 1-1. It was absolutely crazy. They flip it at the beginning of the second half. Chucky Lozano getting a rebound goal. It's just absolute madness. And then we get a buzzer beater.
Yeah, we get a buzzer beater.
We get a buzzer beater.
Last 10 seconds of the game.
Literally, Gage Guerra flying high, heading it home, pushing this to penalties. And as you already mentioned, bro, the penalty shootout was stupid, man.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid.
The 3 shots San Diego missed weren't blocks. All 3 of them were misses. I don't think I've ever seen that ever.
Yeah, shout out to Nickelodeon Disney movie Sky High. They were sky high, bro. They went up to campus. Ridiculous shots, man.
Ridiculous.
If you're Mikey Varas, you got to be fuming at this game. Conceding like that in the last 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And then seeing that sort of discipline not be showcased in the penalty shootout, bro, just slide it, man.
Slide it,
you guys shoot footballs every single day.
Yeah.
And one of the most beautiful climates in the U.S. in San Diego, man. Yeah. All of a sudden you're in Portland and in front of an intimidating atmosphere and you can't shoot no more? Yeah. Come on, bro.
It's even worse because the backup goalkeeper, Cisniega, he got 2 blocks.
Wow.
You can't do any better if you're a goalkeeper in a penalty shootout. You cannot do any better. His teammates let him down.
Completely frustrating result for San Diego FC, who I predicted would go through on penalties after tying 1-1. That does not end up being true. You predicted 2-1 victory for them. That does not end up being true. It's Portland Timbers, bro. It's Portland Timbers who were the team that posed the biggest underdog threat. When I thought it was other teams, Portland Timbers now pushes it to 3 and has a genuine chance of knocking out one of the favorites.
I do think so. Oof. I think obviously it'll be a little tougher because in front of that San Diego crowd. But if Portland just believe in themselves, Game 3 is going to be tight. And honestly, it could be 50-50 as far as who wins.
The Indiana Pacers of MLS.
Hey, okay.
Type run, defeating the higher seed here. I mean, they proved in this game they have the talent for it.
Yes.
They really did. I thought there was a bigger gap. Nah, man. They can take it to San Diego. San Diego can win. I think they have better quality as they did flip the result and were seconds away from going through. But if they're not on their top game, bro, Portland will expose that, and Portland can see themselves going through. It just will be tough away from home.
It will be tough away from home.
Where the dream has died, though, is in Chicago. The dream has died in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I thought there was an underdog threat. I believed in Berhalter ball. I believed in special things.
It's a brutal death.
Within 35 minutes, this game was done. 3-0. Chicago eliminated. Tough year for Chicago, man. Tough year as they did pose a threat. They looked exciting, especially after that first matchup where they pushed it to penalties, and they had a good regular season, in my opinion. But in the biggest game of the year, they completely implode, mainly due to one of the worst sentences in football, goalkeeper mistakes. It's like a field goal kicker missing, a game-time point in the NFL. It's not even football. It's what it feels like when your goalkeeper decides the outcome like that.
It's so bad. I don't even want to mention it because I hope he's okay. I hope Jeffrey Gall is okay because he had what you could consider like a career-ending crash, bro. It was so bad.
That's true, man. I mean,
it was so bad.
People are hard on Laurie Karius for his UCL performance. This is worse.
This was bad.
This was worse, man.
He had
two of them.
The first one just can't happen. The first one especially. The second one honestly shouldn't happen at all. But the first one is truly just unforgivable. It's unacceptable. Happens, man. And unfortunately it just happened to Jeffrey Gall on the night. It happens, but very rarely.
Yeah.
And so we saw a very rare occurrence for Chicago. Yeah. But credit to Philly because they forced these errors. Non-stop pressing. They never let Chicago be comfortable. And, okay, let's also be honest. Chicago couldn't do much, even the midfield and offensive line themselves. So, yes, we can easily put the loss on Gall, but Philadelphia all around were the much better team compared to Chicago in Game 2. Much better.
100%. Yeah, they took care of business over 2 matches. Yes, it got tight in that first one, but they still came out on top.
Yeah.
Took care of business here. Clinical finishing too, because a lot of teams will get those opportunities given to them from a goalkeeper and then absolutely smother them. Philly killed them. They killed them. And when I saw that Chicago Fire penalty get saved, that's when I knew this thing was never meant for them. Never, man. Never. Dominguez couldn't slot it in. It was over. It was over. Philly, the rightful winners. They deserve to go through. And taking care of business after 2 games is impressive in the MLS playoffs, man, because we're seeing San Diego go to the 3rd game, and now we're seeing Inter Miami go to the 3rd game. I think that's the most notable result outside of these 2 games was Inter Miami losing to a deserved Nashville victory, who won at home 2-1 and looks threatening going into that game 3, man.
Let's see how Miami performs, because obviously we know how it ended last year in game 3. It did not go Miami's way when on paper it looked like they were going to waltz to the final. Miami's a better team. I just wonder if they're going to get nervous because of what happened last year. Yeah. I really wonder. I think this is going to test the club itself. Obviously, they've only been around for 3? This is their 3rd season, I think. So they're very young, early in their history. This could be a bad moment for them if they lose, because
it'd be terrible.
They would just almost start a curse, essentially.
Yeah, man.
And you don't want that. It's up to the players to just steer the history in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, all they got to do is win 1 game at home.
That's it.
That's all they got to do. And you guys know my take. I'm selecting Inter Miami to win the whole thing. I made a bet online. I'll go handheld. And that doesn't mean much to you, but to me that means everything, because I'm comfortable right now. If I have to hold this mic, it's going to be a different thing. I'm going into Miami wins that game. Still, even after what I saw in Nashville, I think that home crowd played a big factor, confidence that they have at home. But I do think we're going to see a much more dangerous Nashville side in this game 3 than what we saw in game 1, where they looked like the completely inferior squad. Inter Miami just has to show out, man. Their defense has to be better, and they can't be making mistakes. I'm hoping for the best here, but I might be preparing for the worst.
I'm going to genuinely be nervous, just because of the shades of last season against Atlanta. I still think Miami's going to win, though. But hey, Nashville could have a crazy upset here.
Man. And you predicted it, man. You said Texas teams would have a tough time in the MLS playoffs, and my lord, was it a horrendous time. Vancouver Whitecaps defeating FC Dallas over 2 matches. That series is done. And LAFC doing the same thing to Austin FC, killing them in their own backyard, 4-1, man.
Yeah.
God. Silencing Q2 Stadium.
I truly think, first off, Austin are an interesting team. Their offense is notably the worst amongst all playoff teams. So I think that played a big factor in this one. Beyond that, though, I think LAFC is the best team in the West. And I know Vancouver and San Diego had better seasons, but I think LAFC, in the form that they're in, and with their new signing, Son, I think they're going to use that experience, use that offensive talent. You still have Buanga. I think they're going to use all of that and get themselves to an MLS Cup.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, to me, the final of that conference is LAFC Vancouver. I don't think the team from the other side will challenge in the Western Conference Finals. It's LAFC versus Vancouver that I think will decide the winner of that conference. And I think it is in favor of LAFC, although I don't think it'll be easy by any means, because Vancouver has been a very sturdy squad, man. Very sturdy. And I think they might even be able to win 1 game against LAFC. But overall, I think it leans LAFC right now. Heung-min Son, bro, his goal was ridiculous. The quality, the class, it's very distinct from what we see in the MLS, only comparable to what we see from Messi week in, week out. If they have that, bro, with Buanga also playing really, really well, LAFC looks like the favorite to come out of the West. And man, what a team to face off against in the finals, bro. That's a potential title winning squad.
Absolutely.
We have a game 3 awaiting between Charlotte FC and New York City FC. Columbus Crew and Cincinnati will also go to game 3. And Minnesota versus Seattle is getting decided later tonight in game 2 to see if Minnesota wins it in 2 or if Seattle Sounders can push it to 3. But the MLS playoffs are underway, man, and it's been dramatic already. Lastly, let's do a little Liga MX, man. Little Liga MX as we had the El Clásico Regio, the game that we previewed a few days ago. Shared a lot of excitement towards this game because, man, watching the spectacle at Monterrey Stadium, the lighting, the passionate fan bases, bro, it felt like a North American version of the Prem. It looks so nice, man. I love seeing the colors. I love seeing the atmosphere. I love how it all looked. That stadium knows how to host really big, high-octane matches. And I feel like by the look of it, we got it in this game, which sure didn't have the entertainment factor fully going for it. But was dramatic, man. Was dramatic in that there were red cards, there were penalties, there were crazy saves, there were good goals. And ends up being a 1-1 tie between two squads that had a chance to surprise the other, but weren't able to do so.
Estadio BBVA, bro, is my favorite stadium in the Americas. Like, truly. I just love the backdrop. I've been saying this for like 2 years, man. So anytime there's a packed sellout stadium or sellout crowd in Monterrey, it's a vibe, bro. Yeah. And it is Prem-like, though. But it's because of the way that the stadium is shaped, man. Like, there was genuine care in the architecture when they built it. And it just creates, like, a really, really unique atmosphere for the Americas at the very least. Gotta voice my frustration here, though. And I really want I want to know in the comments if anybody's been experiencing this. But gotta be completely honest, I couldn't even catch this damn game, bro. I couldn't catch this game because for some reason over the last like 6 months, Liga MX broadcasting rights are getting mangled, getting completely mangled. I can't catch most Liga MX games on demand anymore. I think this one was live streaming on CBS Sports because they get a couple of Liga MX games now. I used to just be able to turn on my cable TV, tune into Univision, tune into Unimas, tune into Galavision, and they showed all of Liga MX. Now you have to get VIX, a cable package that has to have the Latino channels. You have to get TUDN's on-demand service. You have to have Paramount Plus now. It's insane.
Telemundo sometimes for
Chivas games. No, straight up, bro.
Peacock.
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy. So I unfortunately just couldn't catch this game, man. And I've been actually struggling to watch the Liga MX games that I've wanted to this season. So let me know down in the comments if you're experiencing this. I'm sure it's only like a USA specific thing. Sure. Probably different in Mexico, but damn, bro, it's just so much harder to watch Liga MX now solely because of the way they're broadcasting it.
Yeah, I think this goes to a bigger problem of what it means to be a football fan and try to watch so many different leagues, bro. It's not easy, man. We do this because it's our job. But I got a good 10 streaming services that I'm signed up for right now. I can't imagine this not being my job and investing $100 to $200 to watch Prem, Serie A, La Liga, all those games plus MLS, plus Liga MX. And if you want to do South American, that's another whole conversation to be had, man. So I think that just goes to a bigger problem, but it does get emphasized in Liga MX because it seems like they've been experimenting a lot with it this year. I do know what you're talking about. And it's unfortunate because they're singling out a lot of fans that would have loved to tune into this game in America that weren't able to do so or had to go through a paywall to do it. Very disappointing. And, 1-1 tie, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I tried to catch myself up. I watched the highlights, obviously, but comments saying Tigres should have won this game, apparently. But obviously, I just couldn't tell with what I saw.
That Monterrey got that red card initially, but then a lackluster play in the backline for Tigres draws a red card from Monterrey, and it's a penalty. Canales scores it, and suddenly they're up. They flipped it completely from being down a man to being up a goal, evening out the amount of players on the pitch, and then Correa able to get that game-tying goal. But what we ended up seeing, I don't think, was a true representation of where these two teams are because, as I mentioned before in Liga MX previews, man, like there's always a red card that gets in the way of me seeing how good these teams are, man.
Dude, God. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is the 4th out of our 5th straight match where there's a red card.
Yeah, and it completely changes what I'm trying to learn, bro.
Exactly.
I can't learn nothing, or at least what I learned is limited, bro. So it's a 1-1 tie. They share a point with Tigres remaining in 4th place and Monterrey in 5th. But that's El Clásico Regio this year. Either way, the spectacle looked really, really nice, and that's what stood out to me. But I agree with the streaming issues because I think other people in the States would very much agree with what you're saying. Outside in Liga MX, I think other results that stood out, without being biased, a Chivas game, man. I gotta find a way to bring it back because right now we're in one of our best moments. Dude, I think we've won 5 out of the last 6 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
No, 6 out of the last 7, having only lost to Querétaro.
Wow.
Chivas has not been in this good of a form in years, with Starboy Hormiga Gonzalez scoring once again. And it's a beauty, bro. It is a beautiful goal that most Liga MX players, I don't think, make. But he's able to find the back of the net. Chivas now moves into 6th place. Haven't been down to like 15th place at one point, bro.
Yeah.
6th place to start asking the question of, can they surprise in La Liga? Because we've mentioned there is a clear hierarchy in Mexico when it comes to teams that contend for the title. But what if one of them draws this on-fire Chivas squad going into the playoffs? Can this Chivas team potentially take one of these teams by surprise? I think I'm getting closer and closer to saying yes. Not fully there yet, but it's getting closer, bro, with the results they've been getting late.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing. Throughout this Apertura campaign, I've looked at Juarez as a team to be a potential dark horse when it comes to Liga. I've looked at Tijuana as a potential dark horse when it comes to Liga. But the way that both of those teams have ended the campaign, I see a lot of inconsistency. Chivas, in their last 5-6 games, seem to be the only team outside of the top 4 with genuine momentum going into the playoffs. They nearly cemented the automatic spot. They're in 6th place right now, 3 points above the repechaje team in 7th place. It's looking really good for Guadalajara to be a feisty team, the dark horse team that's not in the top 4, to create some sort of chaos in the Liga. Yeah. Very excited for them going into the playoffs specifically.
Yeah, very, very excited, man. But it also gives flashbacks because you're saying these things while wearing a Tigres jersey. And it reminds me of the last time we had a fun run that ended with that team right there.
Oh, yeah, this team
shocking us.
Broke hearts, man.
Shocking us.
Broke absolute hearts.
Ridiculous.
Cordoba year.
Cordoba's year.
Goat year.
Cordoba's goat year. Yep. But I fully agree. It's there. If they can finish up the season, one more game with a really solid performance, I'll feel really excited about the chance of potentially going with a lot of form. And they get to do it against Monterrey. If they beat Monterrey, that's a bigger squad. That'd be a good thing to take away, man.
Oh, that'd be huge.
Good thing. I would say the other notable results, I'm just going to go through them. We had América defeat León 2-0. Cruz Azul defeat Puebla 3-0. Those were expected.
Yeah.
Toluca tying Atlas 0-0.
Okay, interesting.
It's finally coming to a roll because they had been scoring 3, 4, 5 goals. Now it's 3 ties in a row for Toluca to finish off the season.
Huh. Dude, I think if you average the last 6 games, Chivas are the most informed team in Mexico.
100%. And now Toluca's in 2nd place.
Right.
Huh.
Interesting, man, how this is shaping up. 1 game left till playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's where we leave it, though.
Feel good, man. You should be feeling real good.
Let's quickly go on over to South America. We haven't talked about them in a little bit.
Just want to comment on some Copa Libertadores happenings that went on last week. It was the second legs, the semifinals for the Copa Libertadores. Racing, team that if you've been watching this channel, we highlighted a lot last year because they won the Copa Sudamericana, and I saw their entire run. They made it to the semis of the Libertadores this year, and they lost a lot of pieces, bro. No Quintero, no Carbonero. They lost Maxi Salas. They pretty much lost their entire front line. They make it to the semis, but they had to play Flamengo. And they were up a man. There's a controversial red card in this match. They were up a man for pretty much an entire half. Couldn't do it. In front of their home crowd, they couldn't do it. And yeah, the thing is, I watched the game. I was hoping I could, say something bad about Flamengo or something. No, Flamengo were better. Flamengo were just straight up better. It's becoming a very common saying, Brazilian club better than Argentinian club. It's just becoming very common to say that. And the other fixture, Quito make it to the semifinals. They win their first match 3-0.
Wow.
And here's the thing, not just against any other team, bro. They beat Palmeiras 3-0.
Wow.
Second leg in Brazil.
Jesus, man.
4-0 Palmeiras. 4-0. Nothing changes in South America. Nothing changes. As for now, the 9th year in a row, we're going to have... Sorry, hold on. Actually, how do I word this? Hold on.
No.
Yeah. As for now, the 9th year in a row, no finalists from outside of Argentina or Brazil. And it will be all 2020's editions have been won by Brazilians.
Jeez.
And it's going to happen again. The 2020s dominated by Brazil. dominated, bro. We get another Flamengo Palmeiras final. It's going to be another Brazilian club. And I'm just frustrated because, dude, prior to 2017, the Libertadores had so much variation.
Parity, baby.
There was so much variation. Olimpia made a final 1 year from Paraguay. Nacional, another Paraguayan team, made a final. Like back-to-back is ridiculous. Peñarol made a final in 2011, an Uruguayan club. Atletico Nacional won it in 2016 against an Ecuadorian side. There was so much variation. Now it's sometimes Argentina, mainly Brazil.
It frustrates you?
It does frustrate me.
I mean, it makes me happy. It makes me happy that we don't cover that league, man. Because I'm glad I'm not wasting time.
Right, we're not missing anything.
Not wasting. That's like if we really put in effort to cover Bundesliga week in, week out. Friends would be mad at us for doing that, man. We know how that's going to end. Same thing now. And no disrespect to my South American brothers. I love South American ball.
Just kills me,
One of the best things in the world.
Kills me.
But that's why it frustrates me as well in that sense. We could have such a beautiful, prosperous region just bringing in, Argentine clubs, Ecuadorian clubs, Colombian clubs, lifting the trophy. But Brazil really has taken a stance these past few years, investing money into their league as they're really trying to challenge those European clubs, as we saw in the FIFA Club World Cup as well, with the Brazilian squads going crazy.
Yes.
I think they're really trying to just take a hold of this region and leave no questions to be asked. They're doing that by winning so heavily in the Copa Libertadores, man.
That's the thing. Honestly, I don't know why, but this win of Palmeiras has made me realize that 2020s has been the era of money in football.
Damn.
It really is. You look at AFC Champions League, it's only the rich teams that win now. It's the Saudi teams, right? Those are the only teams really winning. You look at Europe, it's PSG, billionaire funds. It's Manchester City, billionaire funds.
Of course, yeah.
Madrid, the most popular team in the world. Bayern Munich, the most economically sound team in the Bundesliga. It's actually the same now in South America because the only league with money now is Brazil.
Wow. So invite MLS in Mexico.
Yes.
Invite them now. It's the time. 'Cause we got the money.
Tigres made a final against River Plate in 2015. That's the variation that used to exist.
We got the mud, bro. And MLS teams got the money too, bro.
Absolutely.
They got the money. I'm not saying they could go in and win the tournament, but I think if you bring in two leagues like that with more economic prosperity, there's a chance you might get a surprise here or there, bro. There's a chance.
There's a chance.
I'm looking at Toluca. I'm looking at Cruz Azul. I think they could challenge these top Brazilian sides. I know it sounds crazy to South Americans, but in a knockout format, maybe. As we saw at the FIFA Club World Cup, you could surprise. And I would love to see that be thrown into the mix now because Argentina ain't doing it. Uruguay ain't doing it. Let's try out Mexico and USA. Prove that you really are the best in the Americas. And if they showcase that dominance then we'll have to have different discussions about moving Brazil over to Europe in the footballing sense, because that's going to be crazy. I just wanted to see a transition over to the international level because at the international level, it's the other way around. Argentina is dog walking Brazil.
No, absolutely. And there's actual variation in the campaign. We saw Ecuador with their insane defensive plays. Colombia seemed to have the best offense, honestly, right now in all of South America. So it's just like, damn, South America is nearly perfect, but the club scene is just, it's not good.
I'm going, damn, man. Palmeiras came back from that.
Yeah, bro.
And Flamengo shut off Racing. I just don't like seeing Palmeiras win. I'm going Flamengo. I'm going Flamengo.
I'm going Flamengo too. Gotta back my boy Felipe Luis.
Let's do weekly awards real quick to round off the episode. You know what we do. Goal of the weekend, performance of the weekend, game of the weekend. I mentioned it earlier. For me, goal of the weekend has to be Carrera's beautiful finish, top bins for Real Madrid against Valencia. You agreeing?
I'm absolutely agreeing.
Okay.
Ridiculous finish. Honorable mention to Velda, though, in that first goal for Portland. I was just so impressed with his body movement.
Game of the weekend for me is Portland Timbers versus San Diego FC, a 2-2 exciting draw that goes to penalties and sees Portland Timbers win in front of their fans, pushing it to game 3. That's my game of the weekend.
Yeah, no, that game was absolutely crazy. I'll go with you there. Ridiculous drama in this match in Portland. Keeps their playoff dreams alive, man. And now, honestly, if I'm a San Diego fan, I'm sweating.
Oh, you are. You are. Performance of the weekend. I need help with this one. I don't have a clear one that stands out to me right now. Who do you think had the best performance of the weekend?
Personally, I just got to go with Caicedo, man.
Oh, okay.
I have to.
Okay.
I think he is the reason why Chelsea won this game because no one else seemed to be offensively threatening. Pedro ends up getting the goal, but it's because Caicedo put it on a silver platter for him. Without Caicedo, I don't know if Chelsea win that match.
Truly single-handedly deciding a game. That's like NBA shit, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in football often, but Caicedo did it this weekend. Folks, those are our weekend awards, and that is our weekend recap. Comment down below your takeaways from this weekend in a jam-packed club football weekend. We'll be back to talk UCL tomorrow, as well as a weekend preview for this upcoming weekend. Lots of football, folks. Lots of football. Subscribe to the channel. We will see you guys very, very soon. Peace.